Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today we're talking about the future of dealership mobility. And Ted, we're here at Paragon Honda and quite the conversation around opportunities in rethinking transportation.
That's right, Sarah. Matt Carpenter from Dealerware is with us, and we're very grateful to have Steve Greenfield from Automotive Ventures as well. Uh, Brian Benstock, maybe give us some background and some color on how long this.
First of all, there hasn't been this much intelligence in this showroom since Paul Singer was here alone. I gotta tell you, these gentlemen to my left and to my right are among the brightest in the industry. I got introduced to Mark's company, Dealerware, at NAMAD of all places. A young woman who was working for the company at the time told me about the opportunities with service scheduling. And I yawned and said, well, we already have a product for that. And she talked to me about the opportunities involved in rent-a-cars. And I said, kind of smugly, we don't do rent-a-cars. And she said, why not? And she told me that, they had software that could help make it easy for us to do. And over the next couple of days, she pursued the concept with me. I said, I think you may have something. I made an appointment for her to come to the dealership and share with us the opportunities that were there, and I am really excited about that. And so these shows, these NAMAD things, and Ted Ings, your event, really can give you some great fruit and yield some great fruit. And I think we discovered something great with you.
Hey, can I ask a question? I'm rarely on stage with Brian. Usually I see him up there on stage. So Brian, when someone walks in the door here, what business are you in? What are you selling those people?
We're in the transportation business. Wherever, whenever, and however consumers want to consume it. And I think that really it leads into what we're talking about. So when she's talking to me about rent-a-cars, that's a transportation business, and consumers are consuming transportation differently now than they ever did. Right there, the Uber is out there, taxis have always been there, rent-a-cars. And then I'm telling her why we're not in the rent-a-car business. I'm sitting here between two of the largest airports in the country, right? New York City's right over there. People don't have cars, but they need cars. And all of a sudden I'm saying, oh, wow, this is really pretty spectacular. And I can tell you this, we've got a pretty good fleet of cars on the road. We've not advertised anything yet. We're doing friends and family. It's really B2B. And we think we've got a real homer.
Well, Matt, I want to ask, specifically with Dealerware, how are dealerships rethinking transportation and mobility as part of the overall customer experience?
I think Brian just teed it up really well. We are in the transportation business. We are the automotive transportation business, and that does not need to start and end at automotive sales and service. Rental is a use case. From a broader perspective, many in the industry call it automotive mobility. People need to get from point A to point B. Things need to get from point A to point B. And where we do not need to be bound within retail automotive is just selling cars and servicing cars. Mobility, including rental, is an extension of that. So we have found that as the end market for selling cars gets tighter, the growth opportunities become, more evasive for dealers that aren't growth minded like Brian and the Paragon team. But if the SAR is going to deliver 16 million new vehicles in the market, and it's not going to be much more than that, if you want to continue to pursue growth in the broader transportation business within our core and beyond, you have to look at things that others in our market are doing. And I give Paragon, Honda, and Acura a ton of credit. Very early and meaningful to scale pickup and delivery. Rental is the next growth vector that this team is taking on. Mobile service is a growth vector this team is taking on. So there are those in the market, from my experience, that just take what the market gives them. And then there are those like Paragon that create more opportunities for themselves.
And Steve, it sounds like this is an incredible opportunity for dealerships and really, reshaping what the customer experience is.
Yeah, I mean, Brian and I talk about this a lot. I've never run a dealership before, and more power to you, my friend. You did an incredible job. But I think about, how are consumers' expectations being set? They're being set by this device, and they're being set by Amazon. It's not lost on me that Amazon's now announced that they're going to go nationwide with 30-minute delivery. The consumers that are coming in that are young, that have never bought a car before, have just different expectations, right? Brian's always been the thought leader in America around this, but I mean, consumers come in and they have maybe an unreasonable expectation about what they're demanding from their dealer, and you need to be able to satisfy them, and it's a competitive advantage for those dealers that can deliver.
You know, I used to look at young kids would come into work for us, and I tell them why it takes 4 hours to deliver a car, and they explain and justify all those reasons. We stopped doing that because now they come in and say, "I don't understand why it takes 4 hours," and it shouldn't take 4 hours to deliver a car. There's a guy who is opening up a little dealership, and many of you may not be aware of it. It's off the Whitestone Expressway, and that guy's name is Elon. And Elon's got this unbelievable facility there. And I understand that Elon's going to get involved in rent-a-cars, right? He's taking a page out of our book, right? I mean, the guy is the richest guy in the world. And what is he? He's a car dealer. He's bringing completely different metrics to mobility. And I think that we can take a page out of his book. We can take a page out of Amazon's book. Steve's got it exactly right. The customer expectation is being set by that cell phone. And so the old way of measuring ourselves, this dealer against that dealership, won't cut it. The customers measure us against Starbucks, against Apple, against Tesla, against Amazon. And we've got to move at that speed.
Yeah, and specific to car rental, it's building a business within a business. So there are leverageable assets left and right here. There are facilities, there are service departments, there are vehicles, well-trained staff, brand promises. There are left and right assets to leverage. And if you parlay those assets to sell a car, service a car, and stop there, you're leaving a lot on the table. If you also add rental as a service, you're creating more impressions with the customer.
How about an arbitrage that you're creating? Because you're going to take that income, use that to depreciate the car, and then own that asset for less than everybody else in the marketplace. Be able to advertise that same model year car for several $1,000s less than the competitive dealer or the competitive used car dealer. I think it's an arbitrage play. I think it's a real great way to control your destiny, irrespective of the SAR. The SAR doesn't apply here. You know, it's what you do.
And you increase the frequency of customer impressions. Yeah, which is good for sales and service.
And then I want to take that a little bit further. What if I offer to a customer that buys a car from Paragon, you buy one, get 13 free? Give them the ability, once they buy a car from us, to rent at a below market value any other car in the line, because you may buy a Civic, that may be good for you, but when the family comes in, you may need an Odyssey. So we say, hey, when you buy from us, you can get that Odyssey for $20 a day or $30 a day, or you can get that truck to go out to the Hamptons, or you could get that convertible for the weekend. You get the whole lineup. And again, I don't believe in competing. I believe in creating. And I think your platform gives us the ability to create something nobody else has. Everybody's been trying to do subscription, but you can't, because the product costs too much. We're going to be able to offer subscription services to everybody that buys a car. And I think that's really kind of cool.
And in parallel, create a nice used car factory for yourself.
So yeah, the more they're on the road, the more cars we're creating. And I think the other thing we hit on, and I think it's pretty unique. Hey guys, quiet down there, please. We're talking some important stuff here. We're taking the trade cycle from 30 months to 90 days. You take a car, you sell the new car, you put it in loan-a-car/rent-a-car service. You get the income for that VIN, depreciate that car, then offer it to your certified used car department at below market value. I think that's great. You get 4 bites of the apple. You get a new car sale, you get service, loaner used for my boy Petito over here. You get rent a car used for it. Then Petito gets another RO when we certify the car, get a warranty sale for the finance department, put it in CPO at below market value, cut those independents out, cut the other Honda dealers out. You get 5 bites of the apple, and that trade cycle takes exactly 90 days. I think that's pretty spectacular. There's something, Steve. There's something there.
Had lots of exciting conversations today, and I know this will be a panel and a topic we'll have at future roundtables as well.
And I have to say one other thing, that recurring theme, OPP, other people's platform. I don't, without the platform, I have no clue how to depreciate the used car, the rent a cars, how to keep track of the rent a cars. Your platform makes that possible, and that's really great.
It's an honor.
And Matt, congratulations to you. I know I have learned so much about mobility through the Dealerware platform and how you really are changing the entire market.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Sarah.
Pleasure.
I'm Ted Ings with Sarah Vantine. We are here in Queens, New York at Paragon Honda. We will be right back.